still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go.
Brian Giles with Brian Giles MTG. Hoo-ha! We're here with the start of Tarkir Dragonstorm spoiler season. Now, there have been a lot of different things and feelings about this set. But it is definitely, from what I've seen so far, going to be interesting. And for those of you that are dragon lovers out there, are going to absolutely go nuts over this set. Now, we already covered some cards in the initial release video of this set. Now, because of the way that the site that I use to bring these spoilers across to you, we may cover some cards that we've covered previously. But we will go over them in more detail as we go along. First up is Storm's Scale Scion. 2 red and 4 for a 4/4 dragon with flying. Other dragons you control get +1/+1, and it has Storm. A popular mechanic back from the original Cons block, that if you cast a spell, copy it for each spell casted this turn. And the copies become excuse me. Well, I got... So we have Baron Steppe Siege, which I believe I covered in the last video, which is the sieges are kind of a clan-themed enchantment cycle that you can choose either the Azban or Mardu, because they're always in the enemy colors, and you just choose which clan you want to do. So for a white, a black, and 2, you can choose either Azban or Mardu. Choose Azban at the beginning of your end step, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Choose Mardu, beginning of your end step, if the creature died under your control this turn, each opponent sacrifices a creature of their choice. And they also come in this full art siege full art treatment. So we've gone over Inevitable Defeat, which is a nice spell that can't be countered, and exiles and gives you life gain, life loss for a red, a white, a black, and 1 for an instant. Solid card. Now we've gone over Shiko, Paragon of the Way, Skirmish Rhino, Teval the Balance Scale, which is for the commander deck, the Mox Jasper, the flagship card of the set, which is going to be the serialized version. And I don't think we went over Baator Ancestor's Voice. That was the one they didn't cover in the initial release. So it's a white, a black, and a green and 2 for 3/5 legendary spirit dragon with flying and lifelink. Maybe your end step, put a number +1/+1 counters, 1 other target creature you control equal to the amount of life you've gained this turn. Turn up to 1 target creature card, amount of value less than or equal to the amount of life you lost this turn. from your graveyard to the battlefield. So, hoo-ha of it's, very much in the color theme of this particular set. The particular clan. Rally the Monastery is a white and 3 for, and this it reads, it costs 2 less to cast another spell this turn. Casting more than one spell on a turn is, big thing in certain things. This being a Jeskai focused, they're all about prowess and stuff like that. So casting spells with less, when you cast more spells, you gain, more stuff. So you can, for a white and 3, you can choose one. Create 2 1/1 white monk creature tokens with prowess, or up to 2 target creatures you control each get +2/+2 till end of turn, or destroy target creature with power 4 or greater. Hoo-ha! Then we have Stormplane Detainment, which is something we've seen before. Again, I call this a Rule 36 card because it's just a reworking of your basic detainment card. So it's a white and 2 for an enchantment that reads, when it enters, you can exile a non-land permanent opponent controls until this enchantment leaves the battlefield. Again, Rule 36, no creativity. They're just rehashing the same card with different names. United Battlefront. White and 3 for source that reads, top 7 cards of your library. Put up to 2 non-creature, non-land permanent cards, mana value 3 or less, among them on the battlefield. The rest of the bottom of your library in random order. Sorry about the yawn. I don't know what's causing the yawn. Well, I do. But that's a story for another time. Okay. So, non-creature, non-land. So, artifacts and enchantments and whatnot. Yeah, you can do some stuff there. Whoops. Okay. Don't know what happened there. Okay, next up we have Elsha, the Threefold Master. This is the alternate commander of the Jeskai commander deck. So, blue, red, white for a 1/1 legendary Jin monk with trample prowess, which deals combat damage to a player. Create that many 1/1 white monk creature tokens with prowess. So again, the Jeskai theme of prowess and stuff like that. Okay. Next up we have Rindi of the Unwritten, the dragon side of the this particular commander deck, which is green, blue, red, and 4 for a 7/7 legendary spirit dragon with flying and trample. When enters or attacks with the top 8 cards of your library, you may put a dragon creature card from among them onto the battlefield and the rest on the bottom of your library in random order. That's dope. As a commander, and you're playing a dragon deck, and you're not playing something like the Ur Dragon, this is solid. Absolutely solid. A 7/7 for 7 flying flample with some dragon entry. I'm not gonna lie, that's a good dragon there. Okay. The Yazban dragon is Deriv, Crackling Vanguard. So red, white, black, and 2 for a 4/4 legendary spirit dragon with flying and death touch. When it enters, create 2 1/1 red goblin creature tokens. When it attacks, exile the number of cards from the top of your library equal to the number of differently named tokens you control. During your turn, you attacked with a commander, you may play those cards. Okay, so if your commander's attacking, you can exile cards and play them if he attacks. We have Shiko and Narset unified. So this is the dragon of the Jeskai. So it's little red white 1 for a 4/4 legendary human spirit dragon. Flying and vigilance, not bad. Has a new mechanic called Flurry, which is something that is based around the Jeskai theme. When you cast your second spell, each turn you can copy it, targets a permanent player, and you may choose new targets for the copy. If you don't copy a spell, you draw a card. So, kind of an either-or type thing there. So, hoo-ha. Okay, SG Teamer's Roar is the Teamer Commander for a green, a blue, and a red. You get a 2/2 legendary human warrior. Whenever you cast a creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on her. If that spell's power is 4 or greater. Okay, so you put a +1 counter on it if the spell's power is 4 or greater. If the creature's power is 4 or greater. If the creature's power is 6 or greater, deals damage equal to its power to each opponent. So more stuff, bigger creatures, hoo-ha. Next up we have Zergo's Stormrender. Red, white, black for a 3/3 legendary orc warrior with Mobilize 1. The Mobilize is again another mechanic to this set that basically allows you to create 1/1 red warrior creature tokens that are sacrificed at the end step. Whenever creature token you control leaves the battlefield, draw a card if it was attacking. Otherwise, each opponent loses a life. So it's very, very, that's works just like that. So Codus, Sim Champion, is Black, green, blue for a 3/3 legendary zombie warrior. Once during each of your turns, you may cast a creature spell from the graveyard by exiling 3 other cards from your graveyard, issuing the paying its other cost. Whenever one or more creatures you control enter, if one or more of them entered from a graveyard or was cast from a graveyard, put 2+1/+1 counters on Codas. Okay. So again, you know, the graveyard theme here is strong. Then we have Felithar the Steadfast. So white, black, green, and 1 for a 0/5 legendary human warrior. Each creature you control assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. Creatures you control can attack as though they didn't have defender. And if you can pay 3 generic, tap it, sacrifice another creature, draw cards equal to the sacrificed creature's toughness, then discard equal to its power. Okay. So this kind of fits, you know, with the theme of this particular clan. Next up is an insane card that every dragon lover is gonna want to have. This is Dracogenesis. So, even though it's a beefy 2 red and 6, it's an enchantment that reads, you may cast dragon spells without paying their mana costs. Now, there is all sorts of ways you can cheat in a card like this. Get it out early, and you're just laying down all your dragon spells for nothing. This is insane. Yes, it is mythic level. It deserves every bit of that mythic level and more. This card is nasty. Hoo-ha! Next up, we have the return of Craterhoof Behemoth. Now, while this was printed in some of the Jumpstart sets, Craterhoof is, and it traces its lineage all the way back to the Khans block. This, I'm not gonna lie, people love this card. It's a beefy 3 green and 5 for a 5/5 beast with haste. When it enters, creatures you control gain trample and XX till end of turn, where X is the number of creatures you control. So this card could get nasty, especially if you've got a go wide strategy. Just next up, we have Ugin, Eye of Storms, one of the 2 planeswalkers in this set. Now, it's 7 mana, but it's Ugin. But he has a loyalty of 7 because he's Ugin. Legendary Planeswalker Ugin. When you cast this spell, exile up to 1 target permanent that's 1 or more colors. So you get an exile right off the top as you cast them. And whenever you cast a colorless spell, exile up to 1 target permanent that's 1 or more colors. This in an Eldrazi deck is gonna run things. I see this being a highly sought after card, because running this in an Eldrazi deck would just it would mess up things. Okay, so he has a +2 loyalty of gain 3 life and draw a card. A +0 loyalty of add 3 colorless mana. So he's a mana rock on top of everything. And for -11 loyalty, search your library for any number of colorless non-land cards, exile them, shuffle. Until end of turn, you may cast those cards without paying their mana cost. So if you can bump him up 3 times to get him so he's up above the 11 and still survive, you can get all your Eldrazi's out, including stuff like Big Imrakul. I mean, this in an Eldrazi deck is insanely powerful. And with you know, and you know, with stuff, there's all sorts of stuff that you can use to get him out early. I'm not gonna lie. This is probably, you know, the 2021, the core 2021 Ugin was arguably powerful. The one before, yeah, it was good. 2021 was better. This one is insane. Now we're at 22 minutes. I'm not going to spend any more time here. But I'd be on the lookout for this card, because it's going to go into every Eldrazi deck that it should run in every. Somebody should find a spot for this card in every Eldrazi deck. So hoo-ha, we'll see you on the next video.